Hey guys, what's up? It's Amanda here, and welcome back to my channel, Hoot of the Sims. So today we are doing a speed build of a public pool lot. I've never really done a public speed build, if that makes any sense, like a public lot speed build that is for The Sims 4, and since summer just got over and I'm already missing it, I figured I would do a public pool. That being said, we're getting into the build currently. Right now, we're just working on putting together, like, basically the admissions to get into the pool. Those 2 rooms are, like, supposed to be for Sims who work at the pool, you know, and you have to buy your tickets at those 2 little room stations. That's why I had the cute little open window things from Island Living. So, you know, you could see the person checking you in and you hand them the money through the open window. And that was the concept. Obviously, you can't really do that in The Sims, so it's just for aesthetics. But I think it was a cool concept. And I think this part really puts the build in a new, like, site, or, you know, it kind of separates it from other pools. Because it actually kind of gives you a feel of a real, like, water park. You know, you have to buy your tickets to get into the water park, or you have to purchase, you know, like a day's pass at the water park. So that was the concept there. And obviously we have to make this look pretty, so we're putting a bunch of gardens and plants and stuff at the entrance just to kind of, like, give it a cozy vibe when your Sims visit this place. Because I feel like if it was just, you know, grass, it just wouldn't be as interesting. So yeah, that's the concept here. This pool build is not my first public build, obviously, I've ever done in my life. However, it's the first one I've recorded for YouTube, and it was a really fun. So I'm probably going to be doing more public builds in the future. Not sure if that's the near future or not. I don't know. This was just really fun to do. So, and it was a change up from, you know, modern homes or, you know, that kind of stuff. So it was a good time, you know. I wanted to do something different, and I hope you guys like it. It is on the gallery, and I think all the information will be in the panel below. Sorry, I'm like holding back burps while I talk. Yeah, gross, I know. But I'm only human, so there's that. But this pool build is a lot different than most pool builds I've seen on the gallery, just because there's a bridge that leads you to a middle part of the zone where, like, there's a gondola where your Sims can relax and that kind of stuff. So it was a really interesting concept. I don't know how it, you know, like, it did turn out nice. I'm not gonna say it didn't. It's just, it's very different. And if you're looking for a really fancy place for your Sims to hang out, this is definitely a good lot to download. I'm not entirely sure what I named it on the gallery, but like I said, it will be in the description, so it'll be easy for you guys to find. And here I'm trying to make a bridge, and I forgot how to make bridges in The Sims, which was a problem, so I had to go ahead and YouTube that because it wasn't working. You're supposed to actually put a platform first, and then do your pool afterwards. So that was my issue I was having there. I was like, whatever, I'll go back to it in a little bit, which I did. And I made it work. It was just, it was hard to build the bridge, but not entirely, because I've done it before, and I couldn't exactly remember how to do it, so I was like, alright, gotta pull up that YouTube video that I referenced for this, because I honestly couldn't remember how to do it offhand. But yeah, this lot was super cool. Like, it was super fun to make. There's even, like, cute little gondola rentals. There's 2 of them in the other corners at the end of the pool. So your Sims can actually rent out, like, a private area, kind of like how you would actually at a public pool. And you can, you know, obviously have a private sitting area. So if you get warm, your Sims can hang out in this cool room with some couches and stuff. So it was just a really fun concept to do. And this is really weird for me because I haven't recorded a YouTube video in about a month because I went so far ahead in pre-recording that I didn't have to make YouTube videos. And now I'm doing one and it feels really weird. It's been a while. So I apologize if I'm, like, not making sense when I speak because I don't know what I'm saying. It's just been so long. So, but yeah, it's just, this was a really cool concept. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm not even trying to give myself credit or anything. It's like, it was just really fun to make. So this center area here that you see that doesn't have water, and I'm like mapping out a zone for where basically where the island is. It was just really interesting because I didn't know how I was going to execute it. So you can see that middle area that doesn't have a pool. There's actually like an awning cover from Island Living, and there's a couple of seats under there with some tables where your Sims can hang out and, you know, kind of get away from the water if they want to, but still be surrounded by the water. So that was a fun concept. And as you can see, there's that cute little gondola thing in the middle, so your Sims can, you know, relax in the midst of the pool, which is really cool because I don't think I've seen a public lot with like a center island before. So that was a really fun thing that I wanted to add to kind of like separate my build from other pool builds as well. And I also kind of wanted to give it like a tropical vibe. So, you know, we've got that cool bar from, I think that's from Strangerville. I'm not entirely sure, but I thought it had a really cool kind of rustic tropical vibe because of the lights hanging down and stuff. I didn't want to use the tiki bar because I felt like that was like, you know, too much of a try hard thing to do for this kind of lot. So I did the Strangerville bar, I believe. And yeah, and this is the only problem I have with this method of making bridges. As you guys can see, when you lower down the small rooms, the 1x1 rooms, it creates a hole around them, another block width of, you know, away from that. So that's kind of an annoying thing to deal with. But what I normally do, as you guys can see, is size up some rocks, place some plants down, and you can't even tell after that. So that's something that's like a pro tip thing. This can be kind of hard to try to do on your own. So I'm sure there's a bunch of like YouTube tutorials and stuff on how to do this and like how to make it not look weird. And yeah, I just kind of did things. I put rocks in places and I think it worked. I don't know. I hope you guys like it. But yeah, that's the one way to like cover up things you don't want people to see is placing down rocks and plants, as you guys can learn, through this video. It just kind of covers up the fact that, you know, there's a gaping hole underneath the bridge and it's not really a bridge, you know? I mean, it is, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. And debug really saved my life in this build too. Debug was really fun to work with because you get to use so many other plants that aren't normally in the game. And you can download these lots and everything is there, you know, like you're not missing things because debug is a part of the game. Well, that is if you have all the packs that these debug items are from. That's my problem. When I'm building, I don't like limiting myself to packs. It's actually a really big challenge for me to work with packs that, you know, it kind of limits you because you're so used to having all of them if you own all the packs. You know, you're used to having all these items, and then you go and you try to find this one specific item, and you're like, oh my god, that was from this pack, what? And I'm not going to use that? That's not okay. I was gonna limit this to Island Living and base game, but I was like, nope, that is not even possible. You know what I mean? To make builds look to the fullest, I feel like you guys should own every pack, and it kind of opens up, you know, your range for building, honestly, and for downloading things on the gallery. But obviously, if you can't afford it, that's okay too. But yeah, if you guys download this lot and you're missing items, I apologize. Like I said, I use pretty much every single pack in this build. Not every single pack, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't think I use vampires or anything, but I used a heap ton of packs. So that's a problem with the builds that I make, and I know a lot of other Sims YouTubers and streamers and just Sims players in general don't limit themselves. So on the gallery, it's kind of really hard to find things if you only have base game. But yeah, I mean, honestly, you guys could make this work with base game as well. You just probably wouldn't have, you know, fun things for your Sims to do at the pools, like the jumping, diving thing. I don't think there's one base game pool ladder, I believe. But you could have pools, you could still make the bridge and stuff. You would just make it a little bit different if you're trying to like replicate this build, like, you know what I mean. Otherwise, if you have all the packs, I would just download the build and play around with it, because I feel like this is probably one of the better speed build public pool things that I've seen. Like I said, not trying to promote myself or anything. It's just, it's a really unique build. It's different. And I've not seen anything like it before on the Sims 4 gallery. So if you're looking for something cool and unique, I would definitely check this build out, and give it a try, play through with it, see how you like it, and maybe try to make your own bridge, because I feel like adventuring out from things you normally do in The Sims really helps you kind of broaden your perspective, and it opens up opportunities. Like for me, I didn't know that this was even possible until I was like, wow, we don't have bridges in The Sims. Like, I wonder if there's a way to make bridges in The Sims without having bridges. And I looked it up, and there definitely was. So, I just like exploring in The Sims. I love building in The Sims. And if you guys are trying to get inspiration, I would just do what I did and just kind of look up random YouTube videos, look up random ideas. Like, if you thought about it, look it up. Maybe somebody has thought about a way of making that possible. When I made what do they call it? It was like classified as a generic lot, I believe. But I made it into a resort, and I actually made like hotel rooms and stuff. I made a game room. I made a cute little lobby area, a check-in area, and that kind of stuff. I added buffet tables, and I added a bar. I added a sauna. I added like gondolas for your Sims to stay at throughout the water. And I did this right after Island Living came out, so that is also on the gallery. But you can do pretty much anything you can imagine in The Sims. Like, you can make an airport with the debug items, because there's actual planes. You know, you don't have to size up a toy car or a toy plane to make an airport. You can actually make an airport. Obviously, it's not functional, but it's possible. And that's what I love about The Sims. Like, you can be creative in so many different ways, and it's not really a limiting game. Like, you can make a mall. You could just list it as like a retail lot, and you can make it into a mall, or like you could list it as a restaurant and have a couple of restaurants in there with some shops. I don't think they all function at the same time, unfortunately. So I did make the YMCA and more is what I called it. And I put like shops in there. I put like ice skating rinks in there. I put like a cafe, and I put a gym, obviously, because it's the YMCA. I mean, that's the point. But you literally no limits in this game. I'm telling you, if you guys really put your mind to it, you can make anything work. Just like I did with the speed build for the pool. I felt like it was nearly impossible to make a cool build, with a functional bridge and all this stuff, but it's possible. You can make it work, and that's what I love about The Sims. It's anything's possible, and you can make anything work, and you can make anything look good. And another way, if you guys are struggling to build on your own, is to just kind of look at the gallery and see what people are uploading, what has popular downloads, like what types of lots are they, what items are they using, how are they executing things. I've noticed recently that clutter is a really big thing. So if you don't clutter your builds, you're probably going to get less downloads, just because it reminds people so much of how Maxis builds. And when I mean Maxis, it's like the Sims team themselves. Like, when they release houses with packs, and their default houses, like how you get a pack and you start a new world, and there's houses already placed, but you didn't make them, it's EA that made them. They don't clutter their builds at all. And I think that's what people despise about EA builds, is that they don't put so much detail into it. They just kind of like make it look okay. And when I say okay, it's not even okay. Their builds are horrible. But I've noticed that clutter is really in. So you can see I'm adding just like extra details to this water park. Like, maybe this person's reading a book. So I put a stack of books on their chair, the table next to their chair, that is. I have some grills. I have a bunch of seating. So you don't want to fill your builds up to the point where your Sims can't walk around, but you want it to look like there's people that have actually been to this lot before, but also kind of still make it welcome and organized, and as much to your ability as you can. You don't want to just like put random items down to make it look full, you know what I mean? You just want to make sure your builds make sense to the lot that you're making. As builds, I mean items that you're using in the build, but you guys know what I mean. So just being creative, cluttering builds, definitely a must, in my opinion. The more you use, the better, most of the time. It really depends on what you're trying to, make the build look like, what kind of vibes you're trying to give off. Like for here, I definitely wanted to put a tropical vibe out. but also kind of make it feel like this could be in any single world. You know what I mean? Like, this could be in Brindleton Bay. Like, it could just be themed tropical, and then you leave it and you're like, oh, wow, I'm in Brindleton Bay. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to make the outside also match the inside. Like, I could get rid of those palm trees on the outside of the fence and make them into pine trees, because then it kind of makes it feel like it's a fibbed out tropical place, like it's fake. Because I went to the Wisconsin Dells recently, and they have fake palm trees, and they have like a pirate themed water park. And then obviously it's in Wisconsin, so you go outside and there's snow, you know, depending on what time of year you're there. But you can literally make anything possible. And that was the idea with this build, is that this could work in any single map. Like, it doesn't have to be in Sulani. I built this in Newcrest, I believe. Or Willow Creek, I can't remember. It was one of those two, but it doesn't look out of place there is the thing, because it's in a fenced-in area. You have to check in to get into this place. Like, it almost seems artificial, but also natural at the same time, and that was the idea of this build. Here I realized, oh crap, we need bathrooms, because I was going to make it another check-in area, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to delete the window. So Sims can actually change and do things, you know what I mean? Like, it's a gender-neutral bathroom. There's 2 spots, with 2 toilet, you know, 1 toilet in each and 1 shower in each, because I feel like that's something that you should have in a pool lot, is to definitely rinse off before going into the pool and rinsing off when you're done swimming. That's definitely a common thing in the Americas anyways. It's actually a pool rule at a lot of the pools I go to that you have to shower before you swim. I know that sounds really, really weird. It just means rinsing off, so you don't put sweat into the water. Obviously, the chlorine in the pools would kill most of the bacteria, but that's a precaution that a lot of water parks in America have. So I wanted to kind of relate this water park to, like, health precautions and everything. I went down to the T. And then when you're done swimming, you're like, oh, I want to rinse off. I don't want to feel like I have chlorine in my body all day long. You know what I mean? So that was another reason why there is a couple of showers. And obviously you need toilets. But yeah, and then, like I said, clutter is everything. So I added these cool, like, vines that hang off this roof on the top of that roof area that covers up the bar. You know, I put a bunch of plants using the moveobjects cheat, and it just, honestly, guys, that's the way to build. That's what people like about Sims 4 builds in specific. They seek out builds that go over the top with clutter, and maybe some of the clutter doesn't make sense, but it looks good in the area. So you just kind of want to focus on what the trends are in the game, what the trends are for building, what are people using, like, you know, just study builds and you'll get better at it if you're looking for tips. If you're a pro builder, I'm not going to say like me, because I don't think I am a pro. I'm okay, I'm a good builder, but I'm definitely not a pro. But if you guys are looking for tips and stuff, just kind of watch some speed builds and kind of gather up information on how people build, and you'll do better too. But that's my tips and tricks for building. And this water park is pretty much almost done. It was really, really fun to build. Like, this is the check-in area. This is theoretically where the employees would hang out while they're waiting for customers, or, you know, that kind of thing. And I wanted it to look kind of homey, because I don't like a non-homey work environment. That's why I work from home. It just doesn't feel welcoming. But I wanted this water park to be welcoming all around. But anyways, this build is pretty much complete, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave me a huge like on this video, as well as subscribing to my channel. It lets me know you guys really enjoy my content. And until next time, guys, hoot out.